Hi everyone and welcome back to Liz Sews. So I frequently get asked, how many bras do you have? Now the short answer is I really don't know. I cannibalize a lot of what I'm making to make new bras. Something isn't fitting quite right, so I don't ever really have a total running tally. But I do know I have enough that I'd be fine if I didn't do laundry for probably a couple of months. So I thought it might be fun to go ahead and just look at all of the ones that I currently have in my stash. So on this top drawer here, I have all of my soft bras. So these are bras that don't have any wires in them. Mostly like Watsons and Jordy's. So we'll go ahead and get all of those out individually. And then in this drawer, I have all of my wired bras. And I started folding them like this so that I could see everything I have. I used to just throw them in a drawer just like this one, but it was really difficult to see all the bras that I had. And so I would find some in the bottom of the drawer that I hadn't worn in a really long time. So I just fold them this way and sort of like do the condo method so I can see everything and it's all at an easy reach. So let's look at the Watsons first, and I'll try to pop in a counter over here on the side so you guys can keep track along with me of how many bras that I have. So Watsons. This is the Cloth Habit Watson pattern, and it was the first bra sewing pattern that I ever purchased, and it's still one of my absolute favorites, so I do have a lot of these. So the first one, we have a long line version, and this is using, I think, just a scuba that I purchased from Joann's. This one is another long line version, and it uses a kit that I purchased from TaylorMade Shop. I think this is probably the second one I've ever made. Here we have an art gallery jersey, again a long line version. You'll see a trend here. I really do like the long line version of this one the best. So this is an art gallery cotton jersey. Oops. Here's one of the short version, so it doesn't have the long line to it, so you can see the band is much shorter on here. I just don't like this one as much, and I think one of the reasons is this elastic that I have on here is too flabby. It doesn't really have a good recovery, so I might try again down the road doing the standard length, but this is using lace that I purchased, I think, from TaylorMade Shop. Here we have another long line version in scuba, and the scuba came from Fabric Styles. Long line version, and this is using a rayon jersey, and this one I finished the bottom with some fold over elastic. So yeah, rayon jersey, it's super floaty. I think on the back of this one, I went ahead and backed it with a really firm power net and some cut and sew foam to make this a little bit more sturdy, just because that rayon doesn't have a whole lot of structure to it. Another scuba from Fabric Styles. This one I think I used piping around the neckline because I thought that looked really nice. And then the last one I have is my ice cream, and this is, I think it's an art gallery print with ice cream flavors, and I really just love all the fun colors that I got to use on this one. Colors that I wouldn't necessarily pick up, but I had sitting around in my stash, and I could go around and do whatever I want with it. So that is all the Watsons. So next up I have Jordy bralettes, and this is a pattern from Emerald Erin, and this is her first bra pattern that she made, I want to say 2 years ago now. So this one is just a very simple triangle bralette. So if you're just starting out or a really beginner, I think this is a great one to do because there's not a whole lot involved in it. But very simple to make, just not a ton of support if you're on the bigger side. So in this one I have just a blue lace, and I have it like floating on a blue bra tool, so you can't really, that lace looks like it's floating and covering up, you know, nipples and stuff like that. Here we have a black lace version, same way, just that floating lace on there, and then the edges are finished with fold over elastic, so that's really cool. This one's really sporty. I like it a lot. This is all bra tulle and just covered with fold over elastic, and then that same stretchy band elastic on the bottom. Here we have sort of my neon green one. I really like this one. I submitted it in August a couple years ago, and I actually won a competition with this. So I think the prompt was neon. So what I did is just black bra tulle and then this green neon elastics and stuff like that. And then I also did this extra crossover strap, which is, I think, really sexy, but because it's neon, just ends up looking sporty. But I really like that detail, and I'd love to try it again on some of my other bras. And then the last Jordy that I have is just a white version where I've done, again, that floating lace on top of a white bra tulle. So like I said, this is a really easy summer bralette. It doesn't have a lot of support, but it also is very breathable and it feels like you're not wearing anything. So next up, this is a Simplicity pattern, and I can't remember if it's 8228 or 8229, so I will pop that up when I'm finished. And I have made several of these, but these are the only ones that are now remaining because a lot of my earlier ones, the lace was starting to deteriorate. You were seeing elastic sort of coming out of spots and stuff like that, and that's either because it was poor quality lace or I was being a little bit too rough with it in terms of washing. So these are the only two I have left. I have this beautiful one with this like ice blue lace with that white detail, which I absolutely love, and this lace came from Beware. And then I have one in this sort of peach lace, and I'm sure that this lace came from Beware as well, since most of my laces come from there. And I think I made a tutorial with this one, or while I was making this one, so I will pop up that tutorial link on the side here if you're interested in making one for yourself. And then the last pattern of bras that I have is in my soft drawer is the Hannah Bralette, and this is from Studio Costura Shop. And so I have 3 of these. This first one I think I used all the stuff that was in a Beware mystery box from a couple of months ago. I really love this gray jersey. So it's jersey with this black lace overlay. So that one's a really nice one that I like. The second one that I have here is using just sort of like a nude lace, and I continued that lace all the way down on the band on this one since it was stretched. It was all stretched. So this is a nice sort of like, makes me feel pretty, but it's very unassuming underneath clothes. And then the last one is again using materials from a Beware mystery box, and this one I have this it's made out of cotton jersey again, but I decided to add this thick band elastic, or I guess it's meant for panties, I'm not sure, but I decided to add this on the bottom here, and I sort of carved out the top of this to come in a lot tighter so that I had room to accommodate this elastic. I just think this one's a little bit more comfortable because it does have that added support, and it's a little bit larger of a band, which I like. Yeah, I think this came in a mystery box from a different month, and then this lace and this jersey came in the same mystery box, so I kind of smushed things together to make this one. So that is all of my soft bras, and now we can move on to the wired bras, which is a lot. So first up for my wired bras, I have the Boylston bra, and this is from Orange Lingerie, and I do have a tutorial for this one if you're interested. The tutorial was requested by Sean of Kittenish Behavior, so I'm really glad she asked because this has quickly become one of my favorite wired patterns. Now you'll notice that most of these are in Duoplex, and that's because I have the pattern fitted to myself in Duoplex, and this one is a rather rigid fabric, so if I were to go and move this into lace or something like that, it wouldn't fit quite the same, so I'd have to refit the pattern. So that's why most of these you'll see are all the same type of fabric within a certain bra pattern. So first up, I have this forest green Duoplex, which I absolutely love. I actually wore this one yesterday, so it needs to go into the laundry bin. And I have put a little black ribbon on here. This came from Beware, and unlike most of the Bra Maker Supply Duoplex, this one didn't have any matching elastics with it, so I went with black. Next up, we have Black Cherry. I just think this is a really sexy color, and I love that it has all of the matching elastics and everything that go with it as well. Again, from Beware. Then I have this one, which is in Chestnut, I think is the color of this. And this is billed as a Duoplex Simplex, but it's very similar in properties to Duoplex, but it's a little bit thinner, which makes it a little bit nicer to wear. So for this one, they didn't have matching notions for it, so I have light copper going along with it. This was my tester version of this bra, and I made I made the size that the envelope told me to make, and it fit pretty well, and so I have actually kept it in my rotation just because I really like this. And I made this out of cotton, and so it's one of the reasons, you know, it's a tester, because it's made out of cotton. So I think this is the one I actually did the tutorial with. And then for this one, I've used sea green or seafoam green, something like that, findings from Bra Builders. This one is in light copper, again with all of the matching elastics and hardware in light copper as well. Then I have one in pewter, and I actually bought this as a kit from Sweet Cups Bra Supply because they are going out of business, and so I got a really good deal on it. But I'm really excited I got some more kits just in basic colors. I think I got them like, you know, nude, black, white, pink, stuff like that. But I did pick up this gray, which I thought looked really cool. This one is in peach. Now, personally, I would not call this a peach. This, to me, looks more like a blush pink, but I'm letting you know this is what they call peach. Again, with matching findings and all that stuff. And this one, I think I paired it with rose gold hardware just because I thought that looked a little bit nicer. I think this is the first one that I ever made of this Boylston bra pattern, and it fits so well. I kept it. It's using just a cotton sateen, and you can't really tell on here on the camera, but it's like a deep aubergine purple color. And then I did the contrasting pink stitching because I didn't have any purple findings, so I thought, like, if I'm going to use pink, I'm going to really have pink stick out in here. And then the last one I have is, I want to say this isn't their navy blue. This is like royal blue. I don't think they carry this color anymore. I think so. Royal blue duoplex, and then I did use the navy findings and elastics to go along with it. This one is really gorgeous. It just makes me feel like I'm wearing a sapphire. So that is all the Boylston bras. So up next we have the Berkeley bra, also from Orange Lingerie, and as you can see from this spread, my preferred fabric for this is lace, because that is A, what the pattern is intended to be used with, and B, what I fitted my pattern for. So up first we have this lovely forest green lace, and then I backed it all in black. I looked at doing a nude backing on this, but I just thought that the black made the green pop a little bit better. And then for this one I dyed all of my findings to match, and I used a jacquard dye. I'm not sure. I think this might be the color Spruce, but it's an acid dye. That was an experience. I don't think I would dye my elastics again, but you know, I'm glad I tried it once. So the next one is that same sort of style of lace, but this one is in a black cherry color. This one and the green one did come from Beware, and for this one I used black cherry findings that matched it perfectly, which I really, really like, except for this hook and eye doesn't match really well. I have noticed just in the black cherry colorway that sometimes I'll get things that are really red, like this bow and this hook and eye, and sometimes I get things that are more purple. So I haven't noticed that in any of the other colors except for black cherry, so that's something to be aware of. This one, I think the lace came from Beware. I'm pretty sure all of this lace came from Beware. And so this one is a silver, sort of shiny silver with white on the outsides, which I thought looked really pretty. Really like wearing this in the wintertime, and I'm gone with the pewter or light gray findings on it. Next up, actually have cappuccino colored, and actually I think this one I purchased off of some dealer on AliExpress. I wouldn't recommend buying lace off of AliExpress. I don't think that the lace from Beware or any of the other shops is that expensive, and you get it much faster, and you can be rest assured of the quality. So don't be like me. So this one is sort of like cappuccino colorway, and it actually has like an ombre effect to it, though I don't think you can see it here with the way I've cut it, but I've extended the lace all the way around the band on this one. So I think, yeah, in one piece. And then I think I used just cream or ivory findings to go with that. This was one that Tony had sort of envisioned, and so he liked this black lace, and then I backed the black lace with these hot pink elastics, and I think it gives this a really unique and interesting look. that I wouldn't necessarily have thought of myself. So I thought that was kind of cool. We have this one, and it's using just this leopard lace. Now this one I used some elastic on the bottom of here that came from McQuardick. I'm not sure if that's how to say it. And this elastic has really bad recovery. And so this particular bra does not fit as well as all of my other Berkeley bras. This one's really, really soft. It feels like I'm wearing nothing at all, but also means I don't have a lot of support. So I would recommend, like, if you get a bra fitted to you, write down the percentage stretch of the elastic so you know what that pattern is fitted to, since all the rest of mine work fine, and I think all the rest of mine are using a 30% stretch elastic, so that's why this one doesn't fit as nicely as it should. Then I have this all white one, and then I did nude findings, or nude cup lining in there, so that when it's worn you can't see that at all. It just looks like a completely white bra. And then last up for the Berkeley, I have this one, which I made for Christmas a couple years ago. And I just think this red lace is absolutely stunning. And yeah, don't have much to say about this. I like this one a lot, and I do have matching underwear. I have matching underwear for a lot of my Berkeley bras, actually, because the lace, it's easy to insert a lace panel into underwear. So this is the Fenway pattern, again from Orange Lingerie. And so this one I was really, really excited about, but I have to say I made like 4 or 5 of them, and I've gotten rid of most of them because I just don't find them comfortable. It's just not my favorite bra to wear. I've kept this one just because I really love the materials, if I'm honest. So I use this embroidered rayon on this one, and I love the flowers, and I love how it looks with the black. So I've kept this Fenway bra, even though it doesn't get much wear. The last pattern that I have from Orange Lingerie is the Marble bra. And again, I've made a ton of these, but this is the only one that has survived cullings over and over again. This pattern was the first pattern that I did a tutorial for. But this is the only one that has left, and I've used scraps from Fabric Styles Scuba, and then I've added this lace on the top, which I thought matched pretty well with the colors of the leaves. And then I used, this is Black Cherry as well, but this is Black Cherry from Art Crafts. So I don't buy from Art Crafts very often, but that is what their colorway of Black Cherry looks like. So this one was one of my first bras, and I don't know, this is the only one that's been saved because I still think it's quite comfortable. I didn't line this one with stable cup lining, so it actually conforms quite well to me. There's no restriction, but it also means there's not a whole lot of support. But I like the colorway. It's still comfortable enough, so I keep it. So this is another Simplicity pattern by Madeline, and I will remind my future self to put in the pattern number when I'm editing. So this one I have 2, and I have gotten a lot of requests for this tutorial, so it'll be coming. It'll definitely be coming in 2020, let's say that. So I have 2 of these. I really like this pattern. It's comfortable to wear, but it doesn't have a whole lot in shaping, because this is just one large piece of fabric with a dart put in it. So it doesn't give me the same sort of lift and shaping that all of my other wired bras give. So it's kind of like, why would you wear a wire if it's not going to give you that lift and shaping? So that's why I haven't made too many of these. But it is a partial band bra, meaning this bridge piece here is separate from this band piece here, and this is floating. So that might be comfortable to some people. So this first one I have, I think this is like an AliExpress lace again, with that teal and then sort of like a mocha or tan color on it. And then this lace came from Beware, and actually the wire has come out of this one, so I need to replace the wire. Normally when the wire comes out, I just get rid of the bra. It's time. But I really love this lace, and I feel like I did a really good job of the mirroring here, and I like how this bridge works seamlessly in with the cup. So I think this one is worth me throwing it in the pile to repair and fix. So next up I have the Harriet bra, and this is from Cloth Habit, and I will put a link to the tutorial for this pattern as well. So this was the second pattern I ever purchased. Of course, the first was the Watson, which was the soft bra. This was the second, which is the Harriet, and it is her wired version. She only has those two patterns, a soft and a wired pattern. And as you can see, I have a ton of these as well because I spent a lot of time getting this pattern to fit me, and now I know I can crank it out pretty reliably with a certain type of fabric. So the first one I have to show you here is lace. And again, this lace came from Beware, and then it's completely backed in this sheer tricot lining that I purchased from Bra Builders. And that tricot lining is what I fitted this pattern to. So as long as what I put on top of it, it has more stretch than that tricot, so that tricot is the limiting factor, then this pattern will fit. So this one I have in lace with navy blue findings. What I really love this pattern for is doing these sheer bras, and I do all of the front section out of that sheer tricot that I get from Bra Builders, and then they have matching dyed to match elastics and findings that go with it. So I've done a lot of those. So this one is in blue from Bra Builders. This one is, I don't know the colorway of this one. I think it's their darkest one of their nudes that they have. But I absolutely love this one a lot. You can see how they've done everything to match. And these sheer bras are really great to wear in the summertime because they're really breathable and you barely feel like you're wearing them. I have another sheer bra in the Harriet, and this is a white version. Again, everything from Bra Builders. Here's one in red, and this was just me testing out the theory that if I use the sheer cup lining on the inside, that I could put stretch lace on the outside. I don't like a whole lot of red. I don't think it works particularly well with my skin tone, so I don't wear it very frequently. So a lot of times when you see a red bra, it's me testing something, because if it doesn't work, I'm not that upset about it. So this is a red lace one, but again, with sheer tricot all on the inside. This one is the Peaches colorway. I made this one rather recently, though I have to say I've been having some trouble with the wires coming out of this. I don't particularly love this sort of underwire channeling. It's like the nylon like double folded one. Kind of looks like bias tape almost, but I'm not a huge fan of it, and my wires are starting to poke out. So I have purchased some of the fluffy underwire channeling, so I can replace this one and this purple one over here as well, because it just is not holding up like it should. I think this one only has 2 or 3 washes on it, and it's already starting to fall apart. So I do want to fix that one. Here we have this neon lace, which I just, it's good for when I'm feeling down and I want a bright day. So neon lime with those pink fuchsia dots, and then again I've lined this all in lime sheer cup lining, so I know that it'll fit because that's the limiting factor. And again, this lime finding and straps and notions all come from Bra Builders. Here we have another sheer one using, I think this is the colorway Courageous from Bra Builders. This is a nice beautiful purple. It's actually a little bit warmer toned in person. This makes it look a little cool toned, but I think it's warmer in person. But again, I'm having some issues with the underwire coming out on this channeling, and this channeling sort of like disintegrating, even though I have a good 1/2 inch wire play on either side. So I am, yeah, see, it's poked out right there. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this channeling as well. Then I have a sheer black one, but I decided to put some lace on the top here. Now I left this lace unbacked, so there's nothing behind it, but I think in retrospect I should have done the sheer cup lining behind the lace as well, because I do get a little bit of a line showing through on clothing where this portion of the bust is fully contained, and then this one sort of like bulges out a little bit once it gets to the lace. Now I tried to make this bra in a different fabric, which was really dumb of me, so I used Duoplex, and this bra doesn't fit. So this is Black Cherry bra as well, using Duoplex from Beware, and all the matching findings and elastics. And I've kept it because I don't know why I kept it. I really want a Black Cherry bra that fits, and I just haven't made one yet that I love. that fits perfectly. So I keep it in here, but I think I really need to buy some bra back extenders for this because it's just not big enough in the band, and the cups are a little tight as well. So this is why, you know, you need to write down what your fabric or what your pattern has been sized for in terms of fabric, because different fabrics behave differently. And then last up for Harriet, I have this buttercup yellow one. I think actually this is the colorway Daffodil, again from Bra Builders, with all of the matching supplies that go with it. And the very last pattern I have to show you is the Emerald Erin Black Beauty Bra. Now, even though this is my most recent bra pattern purchase, you'll also see it is one of my most prolific, and these almost didn't fit on top of here, so we'll go through these. I really do love this pattern, and I think it's a great pattern, and it fit me really well sort of out of the gate, so I didn't have to do a lot of alterations to it. So first up, I have this one, and this lace came from Beware, and I want to say it's like beige and tan is the colorway she listed, but I've modified the pattern slightly so that I can keep that scalloped edge on the power bar, and I've also continued to lace around the back of the band because it's stretch lace and it can handle that. And I've just done sort of like beige or nude findings with this, and then a matching seafoam power net and sheer cup lining to sort of mimic the colorway of the bra. This is the very first version of the Black Beauty bra that I made. So this is exactly as the pattern is drafted with no changes whatsoever. This one fit pretty well. I just had a little bit of extra projection in here that I wanted to take off in future versions. And then I also modified this power bar just a little bit to give me some extra length in it so it wasn't cutting in. But other than that, I didn't make any changes in the pattern. This is a really pretty lace, again, from Beware, that has gold and then sort of like that black cherry or Merlot looking top of the lace. And I extended this one all the way to the back. And again, I have sort of altered this back piece as well to give it a little bit more coverage. This one's a new one. I don't think I've shown it yet on my channel, but it's using a duoplex fabric, and this kit came from Emerald Erin as well. Now this is the one pattern I've noticed where I can switch between fabrics. I can do it in duoplex, I can do it in lace, I can do it in tulle, and it fits regardless. So again, it's one of the reasons why I really love this pattern, because it's really versatile for me. So black findings and then this turquoise duoplex. I really like this one a lot. It's pretty sporty. Oh, and on this one I've modified it to use a shorter wire. So this wire is a plunge wire. I think the original pattern comes up probably up to about here. I think it's an inch difference. And the reason I did that is because I had been losing weight and I found the plunge wires were a little bit more comfortable. So I started altering my bras for that. This is another one you haven't seen yet, but it's a sky blue and latte findings. This is another kit that came from Emerald Erin, and then I have lined this one in foam to give me a little bit more roundness. This is a kit that came from Emerald Erin as well, just an embroidered flower with latte findings, and I have a lot of this tulle left over, so I'm going to make a duplicate bra of this as well. And probably on the duplicate bra, I will shorten the wire line just a little bit to make it more comfortable. And then we have the bees, and this is another kit that Emerald Erin was selling, though I think it is sold out by now, long been sold out. And I used black findings with this. I really like how this turned out, though it was a little bit problematic trying to fussy cut this to make sure that the bee wasn't crossing any of the seams, because it was really difficult to sew through the bees. The bees are quite thick in comparison to the tulle that they were on. This is another kit that came from Emerald Erin, and it is a little bit difficult to see on camera, but navy blue with latte. I just really liked that color combination, and it's something that I've seen Erin do a couple times before, and so I wanted one of my own. And then this one is a bamboo jersey fabric, and then it's the kit came with cut and sew foam to put in it. I have another one of the embroidered kits from Emerald Erin, and this one is in the blue colorway, and I put white findings with it. Like I said, I have a lot of this tulle left over, so I'm probably going to make a duplicate bra of this, but I purchased latte findings for the second bra, and again, I will probably shorten the wire line on it. Then we have, this is another kit from Emerald Erin, and I have put foam in this one as well. I really like how the foam works in this pattern. I think it gives you a nice smooth shape. And it's relatively simple with 2 cut pieces, so you don't have to do a lot of manipulation of the cut and sew foam. You just have those same 2 pieces. So this one has this lace and then latte findings. This one is some lace that I purchased from Bra Builder, and I purchased this lace to make a bra for my mom, and then I fell in love with it so much that I ended up buying an extra yard for myself so that I could make my own bra. And I really like how this turned out. It kind of looks like a confection. Really beautiful, really comfortable. And this is an embroidered tulle, very similar to those floral ones that I had shown, the kits that I purchased from Emerald Erin. So I thought this would work because it's sort of that same material of embroidered tulle. This is a kit from Emerald Erin as well, and this one is a French dot. I don't think it's mesh, but it does have quite a lot of stretch to it. And so for this one, I've just done 1 layer of bra tulle on the inside. So this one's a lot softer. It means it doesn't have a whole lot of structure and rigidity. I think if you wanted something that was really supportive and firm, I should have done 2 layers of bra tulle. But I was thinking that I kind of wanted this to be more of a lounge style bra. But I really like how that white looks, though it is going to be really difficult for me to keep things white. Not great with laundry, I'm gonna be honest, but I really liked how this one turned out. And this is the one that I did the tutorial on, which I will try to link up here. And so this is one of the relatively beginner, or not beginner, this is one of the first versions of this Black Beauty bra that I made, but I still really like how it turned out. And I'm using, this is pewter findings from Bra Builders that goes with it. I thought it matched this sort of like dusty blue really, really well. So they're pewter. It's good to know their pewter is more on the bluish side and not necessarily gray, but like a steely blue. And then the last one that I have in the Black Beauty, it's red, so you know I was testing something, and that something that I was testing was whether the plunge wire would work in this pattern. So this is the first one I had done with the plunge wire, and I did it in red because if it didn't work, I wouldn't be heartbroken. And it worked, so I kept it, and that is the last of my Black Beauty bras. So hopefully now we should have a total count up here of how many bras I currently have. And I hope you guys were interested and liked seeing all of them, and I will see you next time. Take care.